Very good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Little Talks from the CEO. And this is Jyoti Rawat. I welcome you all in today's, episode 9. And I'm so excited and thrilled to announce you that today we have Rishikesh Kumar, who joined this episode 9 to give his insights about the angel investing, how to figure out that this would be the nice, investment that where he can get return on investment, and lot more about this session you are going to see today itself. So let's welcome Rishikesh Kumar. And thank you so much for accepting my request, Rishikesh. We would love to know about you, like who is Rishikesh and how you find, angel investor kind of thing in your life, and what do you do for living. So we just wanted to know everything about you. Over to you.
Thanks, Jyoti. First of all, I would like to thank you, for the initiative that you have been, taking and connecting to people. That's one of the most beautiful things, in life, right? You keep on connecting with new people and keep on making new acquaintances because everybody that comes to your life, teaches you a lot of things. It just our perspective, has to be in the right direction. That's very important. Now let's come to who am I? Uh, I I started very small, so I was born in Patna, which is kind of considered to be a very backward state, right? Still, it's improving, and I did my schooling from there. And post that, I graduated in electrical engineering, and uh, uh, and then I did my MBA from FMS Delhi in 2016,
Okay.
and I think yeah. So post so the career, who am I, can be basically divided into two parts. Basically, one is pre MBA and other one is post MBA. So pre MBA, I worked for around 3.5 years, and that was very much kind of an exploration round for me. I was confused what to do in life, what not to do. I was campus placed in a construction company. I was managing a project in Bangalore. So if you know about Mantri Pinnacle project in Bangalore, the entire MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing works has been executed by me on site. Then I was a part of the SABIC project, which is again in Bangalore at Sarjapura Road. That was the project of which I was also a part of. So I was a engineer, actually trying to implement my electrical engineering skills on the project, but I didn't like it. I was like, maybe I'm not meant for that, or I want to explore something. So I went ahead and I met the founder of Base Educational Services, which has now been acquired by Resonance. It is one of the most premier, kind of IIT JEE coaching institute in Bangalore. It's situated in Vaswangudi. I feel a lot of people who will be listening to this podcast in Bangalore will relate to it. And we had a discussion for half an hour about an article on speaking tree. I hope you remember that speaking tree, used to come in Times of India article,
Exactly. Yeah.
a small, kind of a piece which used to
Yeah.
come.
Article. Yeah.
Yes. And we had a discussion about that for half an hour. And Mr. H.S. Nagaraj, went very deep into me. He wanted to understand that, what is going inside me, why I am so much, in a kind of a hustle mode inside, not outside. And then he told that, "Ki Rishikesh, I think you are well suited for doing business development." So that's back in 2013.
Okay.
And he told me, like, we are opening, online centers in interior districts of Karnataka. You go there, you go to Bidar, Gulbarga, and all, and you set up our satellite branches there. So, so that was the first time, when I actually, entered into business development. When I, get into a kind of a mindset where I had to build a business from scratch, right? 2013. And post that, this was pretty successful and with no experience at all in the background. But I'm really thankful to Mr. H.S. Nagaraj, who actually made me think that, who am I, which my college never made me aware of. And then I went on to do a startup on the similar model in 2013-14, which didn't work out and failed because of my lack of knowledge about, how to, raise funds, how to manage cash flows, how to hire people, how to set up a center, how to make sure that the operational expenses do not go out of my head. And because of these all factors, it failed. And when it failed, I had no other option. I thought that, I think I am a good person who can manage business, but I failed. And I knew the reasons of my failure as well. So I thought, why not to take cat? And I took CAT, studied for it like anything. I was not an intelligent guy at all, and so it took me a lot of hard work, basically. So intelligence could not get me through since I was not from IIT kind of background. So I knew that I had to study for 8 hours a day for 6 months to crack this. I did that along with my job, and I cracked it with very flying colors. So I got into FMS Delhi, and I did my MBA there, full-time MBA. And post my full-time MBA, so this was one story, a story about exploring about failing and not knowing what to do. Sometimes also thinking that life is not useful. Maybe I'm not going on the right direction, because there was no guidance at all, because I belong to a family of that kind of sort of kind of background was there. Post MBA, I got placed at Vedanta Group of Companies, Sterlite Power, and I got a role in the CEO office. So I was reporting directly to Mr. Sanjay Johari. Sanjay Johari is now a part of Indus Towers. He's a very senior leader over there. And he changed the entire mindset I had towards leadership. The way he used to manage people, the way he used to, treat them, the way he used to get the work out of them without even, making them feel bad about themselves. He taught me the entire leadership principles, which even I would say my FMS MBA didn't teach me. So again, so this is what is the importance of a good boss. I'm still in touch with him. If I am in kind of a confusion, I just drop him a text. Sir, this is the problem I'm facing. You tell me how to solve it. And those 1.5 years, he guided me, he mentored me, he made sure that I am one of the topmost performers inside the company. I won a lot of awards, like Game Changers Award, CEO Award. Did a lot of cost savings for the company, in excess of 50 CR, sometimes also 7. And these were all $1 innovation driven by the CEO office.
Okay.
$1 innovation, no much investment.
Mhm.
It just using your mind to see, can you improve process with like maybe an investment of 5 lakhs, or maybe an investment of 1 lakh. And it worked out pretty well, right? And this is where he actually taught me this thing, like, to do something big, you don't need to raise 100 CR. First of all, you should try to solve a problem. Are you solving a problem for Jyoti? Are you solving a problem for your customers? If you're solving that, you don't need to raise a lot of funds. People will pay you for that. If you're not solving problem, people will not pay you.
Yep.
So that changed the entire mindset about leadership, about business. And post that, I entered into the startup arena. I built the entire business for Rootmatic, which was a Series A funded startup by Bloom Ventures for entire North India and West India. Single-handedly started it, like did all the works, right from cold calling to converting the clients to managing the operations to getting the software implemented on ground, and then hiring a team of people once I was sure about what is the pain point that I'm actually trying to solve.
Okay.
So I've always been a firm believer of the fact that you should hire only when you are clear about your business. You should never hire if you are not clear about the business. So Rootmatic was again a great. I was reporting to Mr. Arjun Bhojraj, a superb leader, right? A different kind of a leader than Sanjay Johri, but again, he has his own teachings which he gave me in business development, setting up businesses. Post Rootmatic, I explored a couple of companies. Things didn't work out. Ultimately, I joined Pristine Care. So Pristine Care, again, a life-changing experience for me. I was reporting to Manish Singh, who was earlier, one of the founding members of Oyo. He has worked with Ola, Paytm.
Okay.
And again, I had to build a complete vertical from scratch, like, and that was kidney stone surgeries vertical, because Pristine Care is into
Treatment. Yeah.
non-critical surgeries. Yeah.
Right.
So again, I started same. I set up the performance marketing piece. I went on to the ground to onboard the doctors, even dropped patients from their home to the hospitals in my car, and did everything alone for 1 month till the point that I reached a revenue level, which will help me, justify the unit economics if I start hiring people. So then I started hiring people one by one, and my team size increased. And ultimately, we were doing multi crores, revenue, ARR within just a span of 1 year.
Wow.
So Pristine Care taught me, Manish basically taught me, and the founder, Harsh, superb guy. Like, he taught me the importance of unit economics if you have to run a business properly. Many a times, people burn a lot of cash to
Yeah.
generate revenue, right? And once you start burning a lot of cash, your focus is just on growth. Your focus is not on sustainable business.
Business,
And
yeah.
I'm very lucky that, Harsh and Manish, told me very frankly that, see, Rishikesh, this is a unit within a company, but the unit has to be profitable from day one. And that mindset is still within me, right? Whenever I see a business, I see it from that lens itself. So I'm thankful to, both of my bosses. Post Pristine Care, Jyoti, I was a part of Apna for some time, 3 4 months. Again, I was not that comfortable, with the kind of a GTM that they had, go to market strategy.
Okay.
And post that, I was a part of a real estate company for 6 months, where again I built their business from scratch in Hyderabad. But again, not happy, with the kind of culture and with the kind of a GTM, they were doing. And now I'm building a separate vertical for one of the biggest startups in India, and that vertical is into sourcing, training, and placing these, especially the gray collar, the segment which is there in the salary segment of 2 to 5 lakhs. Because while I was working for Apna, I always felt that, just matching demand with supply will not solve the problem.
Yeah.
You have to train, because you are just solving for numbers, you are not solving for relevancy.
Yeah.
So once a recruiter, takes the profile, one of the biggest problem statements that she faces is that profile is not relevant.
Yeah. In
She,
the screening
finds out.
itself, they will reject the
Yes,
profiles. Yeah.
yes. And that is where, this business, we are building it mostly from, in the tier 3 and tier 4 colleges, so-called tier 3, tier 4 colleges, where I feel that, there's a lot of talent over there, but there's a dearth of opportunities. And it has been like last 1 month, and again the same funda I am doing everything by my own self. And just now, just 3 days back, I hired 4 folks. But again, when I tell I hired 4 folks, I'm not expecting them to perform for at least a couple of months. Everything I've been taking it up, because I will hire a senior resource only when I am clear that this is how the business will run. I will not, even if it takes me to, to stand in front of a college for like 4 hours in the harsh, sun, it's okay, but I have to understand the main pain problem. So this has been the gist of my, career, Jyoti. Like, money is a secondary thing. Your salary grows, but then the inside, genetic framework, it doesn't change, right? And it's always good to be, as natural as possible for what you want to do. And pick up those jobs, which actually gives you that kind of a push. And so this has been the journey. Like, I'm married, my wife works for Accenture Strategy, and completely different person than me altogether. But we're very happily married for the last 4 years.
Wow.
And this is my entire gist.
Amazing. Like I can see that you have explored almost all the categories or all the business
I've worked
units
across
till
10
now.
different industries, Jyoti, in the last
Wow.
10 years.
Superb. And I like the fact that, being into, engineering and then figuring out what to do in life. And after that, after that, some point of time, I feel like every engineer, they felt like they are not doing a right job. They want to figure out who is, he or she from the inside, where they can put all the efforts to make their career brightful. Even I'm that
Yes,
same person who feels like, in the initial time, I also felt like, this is not my cup of tea, this engineering thing. Let me figure out who is exactly Jyoti. And I also figure out that, okay, let me be into learning and development, because that's
yes.
kind of my, forte. So I can, relate your story to my story. And in fact, all the engineers who, if they are watching this podcast, even some point of time, they have felt the same thing, that am I doing a right thing in my career? So amazing. Thank you so much.
So you talk about learning and development, Jyoti. I will again, want to mention the name of Mr. Rohit Chernoy. He is the L&D director for DXC Technologies,
Okay.
and he was there with me while I was there in Sterlite Power. And kudos to him and thanks to him, for the way he actually ran that entire management trainee program. And whatever I am today, a lot of credit goes to him as well, because he contributed a lot to our learnings and making sure that we learn while doing our job.
I'm feeling so proud that I'm being a part of L&D. Thanks, Rishikesh, for your introduction. Coming back to my question, so this term angel investor looks very fancy, but we would love to hear in detail about what is angel investor, what do they do, and what exactly it is basically, because most of the people, just because of Shark Tank, they know, okay, they are angel investor or venture capitalist. But still, I want to hear from you that what exactly angel investor is.
Okay, so I will take you back, to the time of 1990s when I was born. I was born in 1990. So if I have to set up a shop, what will I do? I will go and ask my father if he can give me some 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees to set up a shop. If my father is not there, I will go to my mother. If he is not ready, I will go to my mamaji. If he is not ready, I will go to some of my friends. So what are these people like? These people are angel investors, right? These people are those people who actually are trusting you when your business is not set, right? Or you have just started, maybe, like, you have just started. So angel investors are all those people who bet on you and maybe a little bit of the business that you are actually trying to make. So in very crude term, these are the first people who invest in your company. So this phrase startup has come up these days, but you know uh, startups can be anything. It can also be opening a kirana shop in my nearby locality. It can also be opening a tea shop in my nearby locality.
Yes.
So people who invest in beginning, maybe for Narayana Murthy, Mrs. Sudha Murthy was an angel
Sudhamurthy.
investor,
Yes.
right? So whosoever trusts you and your business in the beginning, so that you can start off, you can start doing business, they are called angel investors. It's a fancy term these days because people have started realizing that it can give a lot of year returns if you invest right. After this all startup craze that has developed inside India in the last 5 6 years.
Especially in
And
Making India profile.
yes, it's a good thing as well because these days people inside IITs or people inside different colleges, not only IITs.
Yeah.
If you ask them, a lot of them will tell you that I want to be an entrepreneur. That was not the case when we did engineering back in 2008,
Yes.
right? So people, this is a good thing actually, Jyoti, because people think that they can make something of their own.
Yeah.
uh, i- if you talk about my brother, like, so I've got a younger brother, like, and if you see his complete behavior, attitude is like, why should I work under someone, like, if I can build something of my own? And then I just tell him, like, you should also learn how to work under someone, because ultimately you have to make somebody work under you or work with you, right? So both the things are pretty important. So that's why angel investing has become kind of a very kind of a fancy word. But it has a lot of intricacies involved. So again, so I defined angel investing in very layman terms. And whosoever trusts you, like, if Jyoti wants to let's suppose invest in technology to do her podcast. If she doesn't have that kind of a capital, she comes to me, or she goes to one of her friends and tells that, okay, you give me 5 lakh rupees, and since you are there with me for like 2 3 years, you can trust me on that, and I will return you back with some interest or something, which you promise to her. She becomes an angel investor to you. That's what.
All right. So how do these investments actually gonna help your portfolio, like whatever
Yes.
field into you're doing right now? How do this investment help your portfolio? If you can help us with this.
Yes. See, once it comes to investment, right? People, if you talk about my father's time, right? What were the potential investment options that you had? You could invest in stock markets, maybe, if you are that knowledgeable about the things. You can invest in mutual funds, SIP. People used to say, like, you should do SIP. My father also used to say me the same thing. Other investment is that you can keep your money in FD, that is called fixed deposit, recurring deposit. Now 12% club has also come up. You can place your money there. That's basically a P2P lending platform, although it has some risks associated with that. But every investment opportunity has a risk associated with it. So now, angel investing is another kind of an investment opportunity. So what? what actually happens is that, let us suppose I have to establish my company, and I'm very clear about the business idea. I have had experience inside the industry, and somebody wants to do angel investing, because let's suppose he has 1 CR. Out of 1 CR, 20 lakh he placed in FD, 30 lakhs he placed in mutual funds, 30 lakhs he placed in, let's suppose, other things. He has left with 20 lakhs. Now he's thinking like, this 20 lakhs, where should I invest? So what he does is that this guy, angel investor, what he does is that, okay, so I have got 20 lakhs extra amount with me, which I want to place. He identifies a list of, let's suppose, 5 companies. And 5 companies, he identifies a list of 5 companies, and these companies, there are various, kind of metrics involved. Likewise, is there a market for this product? What is the TAM? TAM is total addressable market. What is the serviceable market? And how is the founder? Because most of the times in angel investings, you will see that the founder plays a very crucial role, right? How is the founder, right? What has he done? And I will tell you a very, very, very interesting story about one of the companies in which I invested some amount of money, back in 3 years back. So, and then what he does is that he shortlists these 5 companies, and then he invests 4 lakh, 4 lakh, 4 lakh, 4 lakh, 4 lakh each in all these 5 companies. And what happens is that once he invests 4 lakh rupees, what does he get in return? Equity inside the company. Same. Likewise, once you are investing in a stock market, what do you get? You get shares of a company. But that's a public, thing. You are investing on Sensex, you're investing in Nifty. But here, what happens is that it's a private kind of a thing. Okay, you give me this money, I'm giving you this amount of shares. So the value of share may be, let's suppose, 10 rupees in the beginning, and you invested 1,000 rupees. So how many shares did you get? You get 100 shares. Now this guy, this founder, started working hard. He used that capital which he had gained to, build the business forward, and his revenue increased. And once his revenue increased, then the valuation of the company, that is the share price, which was at 10 rupees, now became 100 rupees, let's suppose. So what happens is that your capital becomes 1,000 to 10,000 rupees. And now this is a capital on paper. This is a capital appreciation on paper. Now this investor whose share value, this person whose company is there, whose share value has increased from 10 rupees to 100 rupees, now he wants to go to another set of investors. And he wants to raise money at a share value of 100 rupees. I'm explaining you in a very simple terms. Now, what he says is that, okay, I want to raise investment now at 100 rupees because I have grown my business. But this angel investor wants an exit. He told that, okay, I supported you in the beginning. Now I want my money back. So this investor who invested 1,000 rupees and got 100 shares in the beginning, now will get 10,000 rupees because 100 share cost 10,000 rupees. So he has 10 timed his capital within a span of, let's suppose, 6 months. This has happened. So this is how your portfolio grows, right? And this angel investor also had an option to tell that, no, don't give me an exit at this round. I will wait for the another round when your share price will become 1,000 rupees. So this is how your portfolio goes on increasing, right? The other thing can also happen is that, this company didn't perform well. This company, failed miserably, let's suppose, went bankrupt, business closed, then whatever 1,000 rupees you invested, it's lost.
Okay.
There is no guarantee here, right? And that is why angel investing, becomes a very risky proposition for people who don't understand the businesses in which they are investing in. Now, talking about me, I have always invested never in, kind of a business which a person is setting, but always on the individual who is setting up the business. Because if the individual is right, he will understand the market better. He will keep on pivoting till the point that the company runs. Because once you're doing a startup, why do I love this 0 to 1 journey is that because every day you are changing your business model. Every day you're learning something new, and you're changing it. So I remember, this guy was an IIM Ahmedabad guy. He was the VP of a very big company. and earning in excess of, in crores. The salary was in crores. And I met this guy in Gurgaon, in Udyog Vihar. And this was our first meeting. And I told that, hey, let's go and sit in a Starbucks, maybe, we can have coffee and let's discuss. And he was quite a senior fellow. And then he told me, like, Rishikesh, don't you enjoy these, street food? Because Starbucks is going to cost me maybe like 500 bucks, and we can have more delicious food on the street itself, which will cost us 50 rupees. And we went to together, we had that street food. I had a chicken roll, with him. And then, while we had a discussion about the business and all that, we understood each other basically, as a person. Like, he tried to understand me, he what Rishikesh thinks, and how does he behaves, what is his decision making criteria. I understood him as a person, not from the business perspective. And while I was leaving, I told that, hey, you must have got your car, I think. Like, he told that, no, I have dropped my car in Noida itself because that's my home. I've shifted to Gurgaon while I'm building this business. And so I told that, okay, I will drop you, to your home location, wherever you have taken your, flat in Gurgaon. I took him in my car, and we went to the most suburb area in Gurgaon, where, the low income class people basically lives, right? And he had taken a small 1 BHK flat there at a rent of 8,000 rupees. This guy was the same guy, who is earning in crores, who has got a big flat in Noida, who has a car. And I dropped him there, and I didn't ask him a question. But when I left after dropping him, I thought that this guy is ready to leave aside his life of luxury because he thinks that now he's running his own business. And that is what, actually inspired me when he actually, called me after a week back, week after that. I was in Pune, and he called me in the morning. He told that, Rishikesh, this is the money, I would really want you to invest. I didn't even think twice. I just called my wife. I told that this is the money I need, because I never keep money in my account. I always keep, so I always ask my wife for all the operational expenses. I invest, keep on investing the things. So, so I asked her, like, this is the money I give, I need, and I will give you back the next month. This is how, our equation works. And I deposited the money in his account. I forgot about even taking the equity shares. So, this is something, which is very important while you are angel investing, and if you invest on the right people. So I will not say that, your portfolio will 100% grow, but the chances of, the portfolio growing, or we call it windfall gain, right? Because, if the same company becomes a unicorn, your 1 lakh rupees will become 10 cr or 100 cr, right? So your chances of doing that is more, because in the angel investing, phase of a company, even the founder is experimenting. He's thinking, right? Whether it will work out well. He has his hypothesis in place. So this is how portfolio grows. I will not advise angel investing to people. I've always believed in one thing, like, you should have at least 50-60% funds in safe, investments, because that is what will make you financially independent. But if you have a salary, or if you have, some money which is in excess, let's try to, find out some good startups. Let's try to help these folks, because, they are struggling hard. And let's try to, give some money to them, help them be a part of their journey. Because once you angel invest, what happens is that you become a part of the journey, right? And every post that the company posts on LinkedIn, you will be the first guy to like it. And you will have all the positive vibes for that company, right? So this is another way that a founder collects all the positive vibes. So you will
Okay.
connect all the good people inside the industry, and will tell that you invest whatever you want to invest. You invest. Why? Because if you have invested, let's suppose, any money, you can't tell negative about that company, right? It's
Yeah.
a risk-prone business, and you should understand the founder, the industry pretty well before you dive into it. Don't just invest for the sake of, fancy things, because there's a lot of other fancy things to do. Life actually happens inside us. Life doesn't happen outside us.
Yeah. Very true. So after at the time of like exit, as you mentioned, right? So will you also help the, entrepreneur with their next round of funding to give them some insights? What should they do for their next round of funding?
Absolutely, Jyoti. So we are constantly in touch, and all the angel investors, as I told you, they are a part of the journey. So every decision which is being taken, the founder also, a good founder, always drops you a message. He will tell that, this is what I'm gonna do, and the investors, keep on helping. Like imagine your, father investing 2 lakh rupees in your kirana store. So your father will keep on pestering you. Hey Jyoti, why are you not keeping MDH masala? Hey Jyoti, why are you not keeping this thing? Right. So the same is the thing with angel investors as well, but they're more like friends, right? They want you to succeed because obviously they want their portfolio to grow, but they are calm and composed. They don't, they are not looking for quick gains, maybe, right? They're looking for, they have invested because they have trusted you. So we keep on helping, angel investors keep on helping, and angel investors who have got good networks, right? Because a lot of angel investors, come, are basically the entrepreneurs who have made, good companies. Like if you talk about, Kunal Shah, or if you talk about, the other guys inside the market, they invest in a lot of startups, right? And they've got good networks. So obviously, in the next round, the founder, obviously approaches these people to get him connected, because your net worth is your networking is your net worth, right? So, and since the angel investor has already invested money in you, so he can't tell no, right? He will obviously connect you to the other companies. And also at the time of hiring Jyoti also, these angel investors play a very important role, because these angel investors give you an access to a lot of talent pool. So somebody like, let's suppose Sundar Pichai, if he invests in some company, right? So if he invests, obviously he has an access to a lot of talent pool, to a lot of, product guys, tech guys. He can connect you. So and angel investors help in all the things. They help in hiring. They help in getting your next round. They will keep on, pestering you about what you should do in business. They will keep on liking your posts. They will be the first guys, but to actually tell you, yes, you're doing good, right? And they are huge moral support for the founders as well. So it's always very important for founders also to select the right set of angel investors. So not only from the angel investing point of view, but from the founders point of view also, it's very important to select the right set of, angel investors who support you in and out, who help you in and out.
So, all right. Just out of curiosity, I have one more question now. Like, let's say once you get exit from that startup,
Hmm.
after years or after ages, like you still felt like, let me just invest one more time because they are doing very great. Is it possible to go ahead and invest once again, or you have to wait for the existing investors to get a right exit and then you can jump in there? Like how it works if you want to reinvest in that company?
So that depends on the equation that you have with the founder, because see, I hope a lot of the audience must have heard about ESOPs as well.
Yes, yes,
So
but that's for
the found
internal employees.
that's for internal employees, right? So most of the times, investment usually happens, um, likewise, so I will take just one example, right? So I will not take the name of that company. So let's suppose there's Jyoti, and I have already invested in Jyoti. I took my money back. I have made some wealth on your money. Now you are going for Series B round. Let's suppose Series B you are going, and this news is not out in the public till now. That, from where are you raising Series B, and at what share value? So I'm replacing the word valuation with share value because more people will understand. So at what valuation, or at what share value Jyoti is going to raise the next fund? Nobody knows inside the market. Now Jyoti, I was in touch with Jyoti, and I called Jyoti. I told that, oh Jyoti, you are going for Series B funding. I want to invest, another, maybe like, some amount in your company again. And then Jyoti and I, take a deal, like, okay, I will allow you to invest money, and at this rate. So usually, reinvestment or something, investment happens during either prior to a big round that you are going, or maybe the next round prior to that. So most of the founders, what they will do is that once they are going for bigger rounds, like say Series A or Series B, which happens after angel investing, your seed fund and all that,
Yeah.
they will call their, near and dear ones, or the near and dear ones are in touch with them.
Mhm.
So obviously, founders also want that, because since you have supported them in the beginning, so they will ask, okay, Rishikesh, I'm going to raise my Series B. If you want to invest some money, you can invest. I'm giving you this option, and then people invest there. So obviously, reinvesting happens a lot of times, depending on your equation with the founder, and people have made multiple monies, by reinvesting as well.
That's a good insight.
Yes.
All right. So, what would you give some tips for the future entrepreneurs if they are looking for angel investors? How do they present in front of angel investor? What should be the do's and don'ts when they are going for that funding? If you can give some tips, that will be helpful.
Right. So, I remember, one of the guys, who invests in startups a lot, right? And he's a very senior folk. He has more than 20 years of experience inside the industry, and he has created a checklist of around 32 pointers. 32 pointers, which can be like, what is the market like? What is the experience of the founder? What is the background of the founder? In which is the geography he's want to target. Has he been a failed entrepreneur sometimes? Because people love failed entrepreneurs. Remember this. People loved founders who have done something and failed. There's a huge demand inside the market for them. Has he been a failed entrepreneur? What is his college pedigree like? Or something this short, they create a list of, a kind of a checklist, he actually creates. And same thing, I also do, and a lot of other people, they do. The checklist may differ, depending on, what markets do you understand, and what markets you don't want to get into. If you ask me gaming industry, I don't understand anything about gaming industry, so I can't, even create a checklist for that. And then whenever he gets a company, who is asking for angel investment, first thing, he studies the founder, like what is his relationship with the founder. If the relationship is good, like he's in touch with 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, something like this, then he creates that checklist. And if it fulfills 70% of the pointers, he goes ahead and invests. But again telling, it starts with the relationship. So my advice, to all the people, who are entrepreneurs, who are going to, want that angel fund, and who are setting up businesses anywhere, right? Uh, they should understand that, human relationships are very complex stuff, right? They should not expect that, you ping a person and, he will be there angel investing in your startup maybe in one day. That usually doesn't happen, right? So you have to be a good sales guy. And once I say good sales guy, you should follow this follow up rule, right? And which we have been following throughout our life, right? Even to get our father convinced, to buy a bat for me, you used to do a lot of follow ups. To even ask your girlfriend to marry you, you do a lot of follow ups. So same thing, when once you're building relationships with angel investors, with VCs, etc., give it time, right? Keep on updating them, right? Don't follow up with an agenda. Give them some insights about your business. What are you doing? What do you want to achieve? Or some some new things, which you have done it. And once you keep on doing that, what happens is that in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, this person will come to know about you. And once they come to know about you, the chances of him taking a bet on you increases a lot. So it's a game of sales, I will tell you. All founders have to be good sales guys, right? uh, you know they should know how to create their pipeline. But again telling, once I say sales, human relationships have to be handled like human relationships. Nobody is going to invest in your company, just because you say that, you are from this college, you did this. No, it starts with trust. And once they have the trust, then the other factors come secondary. So they should keep on building relationships. They should keep on connecting with new people on LinkedIn and different meetup platforms. Build things with them. Keep on updating them about the things. And once you do that, you have enormous amount of connections, to raise funds from. And these guys will only help you, to go forward. That's what I feel is the best way uh, to raise angel funds.
Amazing. This is really very insight, session, I can say, out of my all the 8 podcasts basically which I've done so far, because this is somewhere people want to start from the basic, like how to get funds, how to start from the beginning. how a founder should look like in terms of behavior, in terms of their characteristics. Like, will he be there to support me all the time? Will he give me time or not? So you have given a number of insights today, Rishikesh. Thank you so much for, for all the
Thanks,
insights
Jyoti.
you have
I tried to keep it as simple as possible so that all the people can actually understand it.
given.
Because business is not about jargons. Business is about keeping it simple.
Simple. So with this note, thank you so much, Rishikesh, for for being a part of this episode 9 of the Little Talks from the CEO. And I wish you all the best, and definitely we'll connect soon whenever it is possible. And yeah, I can feel that we are going to connect in LinkedIn as well. So definitely we would love to hear some of the article from your side, whatever learnings you have learned so far. I would definitely follow you from LinkedIn as well.
Pleasure, Jyoti, and same here.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.